Hi, this is Evelyn here with my Fun with Physics. So this one had to do with sound, and I was looking at an app that showed like the wavelengths and frequencies as I did different sounds, it was actually really cool. But so when I first did, I just downloaded it really fast, and I was looking at it, and so I was first just like, okay, let's see like what a whistle looked like, and then or I like collect like the tongue and like against the roof of my mouth and things like that to see the difference. So like the whistle was really cool. It was a lot of like the frequency was it was very frequent. The wavelength was really short with like a fast frequency, I guess. So there's just like lots of just these peaks just and within that like decibel range that it showed. And then like for like clucking was just like it was like a very like quick thing, so it wouldn't like lasting as long, but it's still I don't know, it was cool. But it's that like the wavelength was way longer and you can have like a long frequency. Or I did things like I like blew at the microphone of my phone and it just like it was just everywhere. Like there was no like set it wasn't like a set wavelength for like blowing at my phone or something where just like that wind going past and had like a frequency to it. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of cool seeing things like, hey, humming, what does that do? And I don't know, everything was different. But then I went up to, my family has a piano, so I went up to the piano. I was like, okay, let me play some notes and see what that looks like on here. So then I could play two things at once, because like what I was doing, like I was doing sounds, but I don't know, when I was like singing something, like it's just one note at a time. So I went up to the piano to play two notes, and that was actually really cool, because I did like a chord, and I don't think my piano's like, I don't think it's been tuned for a little bit, so I don't know if like it looked like quite exactly how like it should look for a perfectly in tune piano, but like when I did a chord, oh, and I'm playing notes on the piano, it was cool because like you do a note like really loud, and so like the amplitude was like really big and stuff, but then it quickly like went smaller because you had like a big like pound if you first pounded a note, and then it would like the note would last longer, and so you'd still have like the same wavelength and frequency, but the amplitude would like shorten really fast. And when you play the chord, there were like peaks and stuff, but they kind of were like switching, which was cool. But they kind of like it wouldn't stay the same. But like as I listened to it, like on the piano, I could hear the notes kind of oscillating between the two. Like I was playing two C's, and then it was kind of doing that on like the wavelength. It was showing the kind of like flipping back and forth. But then it kind of like it would do that for a little bit. But I think they were not quite in sync because they would do that for a bit, and then it would turn into more of just like the same wavelength but moving, and it's kind of like moving along like the line of the screen is what it showed. And so it was like sometimes it was like moving, and then sometimes it's kind of just like flipping as it's moving, and sometimes it's just moving a little bit, and it was kind of like changing as it went, but it was really cool. When I was like, and sometimes like when I was just like singing notes at the phone, I could find that like sometimes it was a really nice like sine curve looking thing, but sometimes there was like a couple like bumps to it, like it wasn't just like a nice curve and stuff, depending on like the sound or like the note I was trying to sing with my vocal range or whatever, and it wasn't quite in tune with things. I'm just singing random notes at the phone. Sometimes like I was just holding out, like I could get it I found with a few of my notes I could get it to look like for like a second or 2 seconds look like the wave wasn't moving. That was pretty cool, because like I felt like I'm like, oh, I'm making this sound not move, like it still was moving. It's just like it looked like the wave like looked like it wasn't. So yeah, it was kind of just cool just playing around with how things worked. Yeah, I was like tried like stomping around on like hard ground versus like soft and seeing when it picked up, and yeah, like I don't know. So like the frequencies were obviously like it was a lot quieter with the like on carpet and stuff like that, so the amplitude wasn't as big, but still kind of had about the same like wavelength as frequency as like stomping around on like the hard ground. But yeah, so it was just kind of just cool just seeing like being able to, I guess, visually see how like the sounds we make or like make on the piano or something like that, like how that would look with the wavelength. So it was pretty cool.